Boulder here. Next volumes, you see their logo right up there. The volumes and the holds. The dual texture on these white holds, all of the outsides are unbelievably slippery.
Yeah, definitely. And it's homemade. It's made in Quebec. It's local, so it's a local company. So it's nice that we can see this brand. C'est vraiment une compagnie qui a percé et regardez comment ça fait des beaux problèmes.
Yeah. And we hear Sean Faulkner making fairly quick work. And almost just swinging out. Meanwhile, Indiana moving just a little bit slower. It's a more careful block. There's a lot of squeezing. And that is going to be a flash from Indiana Chapman.
Ah, ça met la pression sur les autres là, avec un flash comme ça. Et derrière, on est en finale. On a entendu la foule, donc on le sait. En arrière, dans l'isolation, les autres grimpeuses le savent. Indiana a flashé le problème numéro 1. Donc la pression est sur les autres. Et c'est ce que j'aime de ce format. On prend le temps de faire passer tous les grimpeuses et tous les grimpeurs sur un seul problème. Et donc on est capable de suivre le rythme. Et derrière, la pression monte jusqu'à temps qu'on arrive au problème, le dernier problème de la compétition.
You're right. It's very often that in this kind of format, climbers know what needs to be done in order to win a competition. They go back to a secondary isolation. So they go from isolation, all six together. After they've done the boulder, they go to a separate isolation, but then they slowly add to that. So the second climber is going to come out, Evangelina is going to come out, and she'll be in the same spot as Indiana, and then Madison will arrive. And they sometimes discuss at that point, did you do the boulder? Did you not do the boulder? So, and as you say, you can hear the crowd. They know how quickly you've come back. You can hear the crowd screaming. You know what's on the line, and it adds quite a bit of pressure. Sean Faulkner, can you do it this time?
Hey, la main qui part encore, il faut que la main gauche reste. Donc malheureusement, il regardait sa main gauche, semble un peu glissante, donc ça va être intéressant de voir. Il faut absolument que sa main gauche reste.
I'm surprised he's not dropping his right foot down, that little triangle there. I mean, it looks like he needs to have something to slow that left to right swing down. I'm going to remind you again, if you don't watch a lot of climbing on broadcast, everything looks smaller and less steep on TV than it does in the gym.
Yeah.
So this boulder, the last move is quite big. So remember, the spans are going to seem a little bit smaller when you're watching, especially if you're watching on your laptop. So it's a little bit more dramatic than that. And this move at the end here involves quite a lot of travel. Your left hand, whole body shifting left to right. Sean Faulkner, he's going to let the clock run down. Right in this time frame where he's going to give himself a good rest, but enough time for a sort of a security try.
Et regardez bien, portez attention à son crochet de talon sur, pas celui-ci, le prochain. Il va mettre son crochet de talon, mais regardez le crochet de talon, à quel point il est loin à gauche comparativement à sa main droite qui doit lancer pour le top. Donc ça crée vraiment une très, très grosse porte de grange. On se fait débalancer et si on ne contrôle pas le mouvement, on se fait éjecter du bloc.
Yeah, that left heel hook feels really good when he's on the two last holds before the top. But as soon as the movement starts towards the finishing hold, so stretched out, I don't think he's tall enough to keep the heel hook. And as soon as it unwinds, that's when, as you say, that barn door, that swinging movement comes into play. One more try for Sean Faulkner. Here's that.
15 petites secondes. Ah, plus d'énergie, trop tard.
Can't quite get the stick to go. So, we see right away, maybe the boulder presents a little bit simply. The last move, very difficult.
Intéressant. Donc là, derrière, les hommes, ils savent, le premier bloc n'a pas été topé. Il n'y a pas eu de top sur le premier bloc. Par contre, la pression est vraiment sur Evangelina Briggs maintenant. Elle le sait, Indiana, elle a flashé le bloc numéro 1. Donc quand Evangelina Briggs va rentrer sur le tapis, elle se dit dans sa tête, Indiana l'a fait, il faut absolument que je le fasse moi aussi.
Yeah, that's something that's part of the mental game. It's, you know, how do you control that? How much time do you spend in your own head? It's always going to be you against the boulder, but you are still trying to beat the other climbers who are also in this competition. So it is always about the balance between your physical effort, your mental control. Are you able to put mistakes behind you? And how quick, if you make a mistake on the first try, in 4 minutes, you have to put that mistake behind you. It's not just about one try to the next. It's not just about 20 minutes to kind of come back around in terms of how am I going to recover for my second boulder, third boulder. If you are making mistakes here, you have 4 minutes to sort out your mental state and get your beta correct.
I'll give you a quick example. I was talking with Signe Park just before the final. She was down there, and she was telling me, like, I knew I had to do the first problem during semifinal. I couldn't do it. I knew that the other girls were doing it quickly, and it played in my head, and I kept that. I was too much in my head for the rest of the semi, and that's why I'm not in final. I mean, that's the explanation she gave me.
Yeah, and that is a very, very, very real thing that happens. Evangelina pretty casually hopping between these big pinchy volumes. They all taper away. They're pinches that are wide and get wider the farther away from the apex that they are. Ethan Hoffman moving now. He's just for a second used that right foot. He's a little bit taller, and he holds the swing up high. A flash from Ethan Hoffman.
Wow. Quel contrôle.
Very, very good control. Evangelina here electing to go a wide feet early and has now come in to be a little bit more perched, maybe a little bit more squeeze in her feet. Taking some time to chalk up just so then it's a good look at how the pinches are wide. She's maybe going to go, got options.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. It's not a problem that we see often, those kind of shapes, but it's done.
Yeah. Good work from Evangelina Briggs. And now, because both climbers did their boulders quickly, the next two coming out will know right away. Boom, boom. Two boulders have been topped in short order.
Ouais, imagine si tu réussis pas le problème numéro 1 au premier essai et que ça prend 2 voire 3, ou même pire, tu réussis pas à faire le problème numéro 1, là ça joue vraiment dans la tête parce que tu es en mode rattrapage par la suite.
Ouais. Yeah, and you don't want to be playing catch up. It is not the state you want to be in. You want to be on attack the whole time. Come out throwing down on boulders. We are going to see next Lucas Uchida and Madison Fisher. A little brush. Thanks. Of course, our volunteers. I mean, there's got to be, I think I've seen 100 white shirts around the gym this weekend. The volunteers are everywhere.
Everybody's staff.
Yeah, everybody's staff this weekend. That is true. The long jog from isolation. First boulder look, Lucas and Madison Fisher. Although I don't see Madison yet. Sometimes they get, I mean, it shouldn't happen too much, but sometimes you get distracted back in ISO. Where did I put my chalk bag?
Well, I think it's because both climbers flashed the problems, so she was not expecting to go that quick.
Yeah.
And look at the face of
Lucas took a few close calls yesterday. Yeah, some tight boulders, some interesting slips and falls. I think that was from yesterday. I don't think he had them coming in before that. It could have been a training slip and fall as well, but I'm pretty sure that happened yesterday.
He did bang his knee during semi.
Yep.
He was all taped up on his knees, so it's definitely a fight.
Yep. A good look at the coordination on the first move of this boulder. It's so they make it look so simple. That first move is not as easy as the first three climbers have made it look. Lucas, just a little misfire. Madison, just a different approach. You see her being a little bit more cavalier with her footwork, a bit swinging a little bit more in the lower body, whereas you saw Evangelina both feet on essentially the whole time.
Madison Fisher qui utilise une méthode un peu plus puissante, hein, donc prend un peu plus de risques aussi en même temps.
Just interesting here. The lower you are on those, she manages to make that match work. The pinch is much worse below the break than it is above the break. And then just squeezing with the feet.
Elle doit monter ses pieds maintenant. Elle doit monter ses pieds si elle veut réussir à aller chercher le top.
She's looking, yes, just as those feet let go. Lucas now.
Second time.
Yeah, I think he's shorting it a little bit. He needs to push a little bit further. I know he's thinking about the swing. You don't want to go too dynamically because you open up a big swing. The thumb catch is really, it's not keeping you on that. When we get another look at it, the triangle with the zone on it, there is a small thumb. That's not saving you. It's just there. So I think he's trying to go shorter to not involve a big swing, but he's not going far enough and he's falling back too much.
Yep.
So there's a balance in that dynamic movement. How much do you give? How much do you take back? And you're going to see this throughout the finals. Just because you saw a couple of quick flashes, a top here, a top there, as we were mentioning on the introduction, all 6 finalists on both the men's and women's field are capable of taking a podium. So you're going to see a big swing depending on style of boulder and how each climber is feeling when they come out. So here we see if Lucas puts a little bit more oomph into this move. Yes. And he's thinking about the flag, I think. Yeah, I like this. I like this.
Oh!
Much more straight on.
C'est fait et c'est la première fois qu'on voit un grimpeur utiliser le volume de droite pour faire le dernier mouvement. Donc, ça semble être une façon de faire pour éviter la porte de grange. L'analogie de la porte de grange, le pourquoi ça s'appelle une porte de grange. Imaginez une grande porte de grange. Dès qu'elle se met à ouvrir, elle prend de la vitesse, elle prend du momentum et plus elle s'ouvre, moins on a de chances de réussir à la laisser fermer. Donc, éventuellement, la porte de grange prend trop de momentum et là, ça nous fait complètement sortir du bloc.
It doesn't matter how strong you are. Once that thing gets going, it's going. And you'll recognize that if you spend any time climbing in the gym. Anytime you kind of have one hand, one foot in a line together and you're moving across your body and you start to feel that opening feeling, like a door opening on you. If you've got nothing trailing to hold you in, there's just not enough you can do about it. The barn door is a real thing, and the climbers, they're aware of it, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do. With 40 seconds left, this is going to be, Madison Fisher took a long rest. You got to believe she thinks that she can just walk up it this try, but no room for error.
Non, elle n'a plus de chance là maintenant avec à peine 30 petites secondes. Elle doit maintenant monter les pieds. Tout à l'heure, ça a été plus difficile. Maintenant, elle doit compresser les pieds pour réussir à aller chercher le top.
Really good look at those pinches.
Oh!
Madison Fisher, 3 fingers and 15 seconds to go.
Wow.
That is a good bit of resilience from Maddie Fisher.
Second try.
It's so gutsy to only give yourself 2 tries on a finals boulder. My hands are sweating just thinking about standing on the mat and watching 2 minutes burn away. If you're interested in keeping up live, we're going to try and keep you updated as much as we can as we go. But cec.results.info, or if you go to the Climbing Escalade Canada page, or you go to their Instagram and go to their link tree, you will see links to the live scoring. You will see after each climber completes each boulder, those scores will update. There's a good look at Lucas Uchida using that right side volume, and Madison Fisher here. Have a look at this catch. Just 3 fingers, full extension.
Wow.
Have a quick look back and make sure the judge secured your top before moving on. That's going to bring us to Victor Baudrin and Paige Boklaschuk. Paige looks like raring to go, sort of looking at the clock. Let me turn around and let me get on this thing. You know that when you go back after previewing the boulders, you know which boulders you're excited to try and which boulders you're a little bit more hesitant about gutting up on. Victor Baudrin, the crowd is loving the local climbers.
Victor Baudrin qui a gagné. Il a gagné les North American Cup Series à Canada, donc il sait qu'il est en forme, il s'est mesuré déjà aux autres compétiteurs canadiens, donc il sait un peu où il se situe. Même chose pour Paige Boklaschuk, elle a fait 2e à la North American Cup Series à Canada, donc elle sait aussi qu'elle est capable de bien performer. Les North American Cup Series, ça a été remporté par Alannah chez les femmes.
Paige very calmly moving through this boulder, just making good foot decisions when they're dealing with large volumes and you can put your foot anywhere within a 5-foot range. There are lots of choices to make. When do you split? When do you not? You see Paige just got a bit stretched out there and bringing the right leg in, it was just too much to control. Victor made an interesting choice to go to the crimp above the zone. We'll see if he goes to that again. I don't know to what end. And it looks like this time he's going to go, intended sequence. Good work.
C'est beaucoup mieux avec le pied sur le petit volume. Hein?
Yeah, I agree. They would have talked about that in preview. I think I can reach with a heel hook, and then they know that little volume's there. It's a pretty big hint from the root setters. So a top in 2 tries from Victor.
I think if you have strong fingers, you're going to select that little volume to really hold the volume and the crimp, and relying only on your fingers to hold yourself. And if you think that your fingers are maybe a little bit tired because of a qualification or semi, then I think you'll go and opt for the heel hook, which makes it harder at the end, though, to control.
It's easier in the position that you're in and
Yeah.
then harder to leave. So you feel good for a moment, but at what cost? There's a lot of risk, cost, reward that goes on in a very short amount of time.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle. That's what it's a lifetime in 4 minutes sometimes. You go through a range of emotions. You go through a range of effort. You go through a range of choices. And here we'll see if Paige adjusts that. She just got so wide that maybe this time she's a little bit more compressed. Oof. No, she keeps that toe hook. Maybe release it a little sooner. Trying to get a little heel cam. I promise you, you see the angle of the wall. There's nothing to push down on this women's first boulder for your feet. It's only pushing left, pushing right, squeezing together, a little push and squeeze. So if your desire is to step down, you're not going to get a lot of reward for that. So you have to sort of twist in your hips so that your pressure to keep you on the wall is left to right, but you're still trying to move bottom to top.
C'est comme si 80% du poids était tenu par les mains. Il faut pincer les prises et ensuite on stabilise avec soit un talon, soit un crochet d'orteil. Et regardez bien le pied gauche de Paige Buklachuk. Il faudrait vraiment qu'elle utilise un toe hook. Les autres femmes, j'ai remarqué qu'ils avaient un toe hook. Madison Fisher avait un toe hook à gauche au lieu d'un talon. Donc ça va être intéressant de voir si les autres femmes vont réussir à trouver cette méthode alternative pour aller chercher un crochet d'orteil à gauche.
And she's strong enough to pull through here, but she's just locked into this right toe hook, so stretched out. You actually need your weight underneath you. And as you say, the other women that top the boulder, a little bit more secure on the left-hand side, on the left foot. So Paige is going to come away without a top on boulder 1. It's not, as we say, it's just getting started. There's 4 boulders to climb. You can't get so dejected without a top. You don't know what's going to happen. Here's a good look at Victor making the adjustment and doing this finish. Good amount of control here. And then Paige, you see, just that left foot is searching for something and just can't quite find enough. And she's got a smile still. That tells me she's still in a good headspace. I like to see that from an athlete. You just hate to see them look sort of internally dejected right off the bat. So, good attitude.
Il faut absolument influencer le cerveau. Hein, et on a vu les Américaines, Brooke Raboutou, entre autres, se forcent à sourire tout le temps. Même quand elles forcent sur le problème, on dirait qu'ils sont en train de sourire. Et c'est vraiment une méthode pour venir influencer le cerveau de façon positive, pour s'envoyer des énergies et des ondes positives et continuer à performer dans un momentum vraiment positif.
Yeah, as climbing gets more and more and more, as it grows more and more, we get more different types of trainers and more influences, and that, you know, the mental aspect and what does your coach do for you and what kind of tricks. And as you say, if you can smile your way up a boulder, you are convincing your brain that things are going well for you. So you'll see climbers with a lot of emotion.
It's nice. It's nice to see sports science to get inside climbing more and more.
And they're starting to pay attention, right? As we appear on the larger stage, sports science is. I have something to say about this. You know, another sport we can learn from lots of other people that have been before us. This is Oscar Baudran.
Oh, Babette 3 qui prend des risques ici.
Yes.
Elle est confiante, hein? Et Babette 3, lorsqu'elle grimpe de façon confiante, ça va bien dans sa tête.
Yeah. And you saw a couple of foot slips, but managed to squeeze and hang on, no problem. Babette here is inching up. Now comes the dead point.
Elle est plus petite, hein, donc elle doit monter les pieds plus haut. Donc c'est normal qu'elle doit travailler le volume un peu plus pour essayer de monter un peu plus haut pour aller chercher le top.
Oscar is climbing quickly and doesn't need to be. Maybe that's a little bit of adrenaline. He's excited to be out here. And it needs to slow down just a bit here.
Oh non! Encore une fois, on dirait, tu as raison, il se dépêche un peu trop, il précipite le mouvement. Il doit un peu se calmer à l'intérieur de sa tête en ce moment. Il doit essayer de se calmer les esprits pour essayer de garder un peu plus de contrôle dans ses mouvements.
And it can be too easy to climb into your arms quickly. you saw his foot slide off the volume. He wasn't really putting any weight on it at all. When you climb a little bit too quickly, you tend to climb a little bit more with your arms, kind of paddling through. Here you actually need to sink in and allow a little more weight in your foot so that last move doesn't swing quite so much. So maybe as, first boulder, national championships, you're a little bit excited, lots of adrenaline. He just needs to take a deep breath here. And you say slow down his movements just a little bit. Lots of time, of course. No rush here for Oscar. And Babette back up on her boulder as well.
Ah oui.
That's better. That's better from Oscar Boulder. An important top so far on the men's field.
Ah, bon talon à gauche.
Yes, as you were mentioning before, that just sort of. I think she's okay. I thought for a minute maybe she landed awkwardly, but she's just having a look at the clock. She can afford to have an extra few seconds.
Ouais, c'est une façon pour elle. Elle fait ça fréquemment. Elle reste au sol comme ça, donc elle se calme et elle essaie de réagir dans sa tête pour rester positive. Donc vraiment, elle revient au sol. Elle fait un quick assessment. Elle est en train de voir, OK, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Qu'est-ce que je peux réajuster? Et ensuite, elle se repose et elle repart. Elle a le temps. C'est un bloc qui se fait quand même assez rapidement, on l'a vu.
So she is going to get up pretty quickly here. She looked really good that time. I think, again, the feet is what's critical on this boulder. If your feet let you down, you can't afford that shock load into your hands on these pinches. But moving quickly, she's made all the adjustments each time. Just needs to make one more. I don't like this false grip at all. I don't think that's going to be super helpful.
That's
super risky. Babette Dua. No. There's just nothing to do if there's no left hand.
You have to crimp. You have to pinch, actually. You have to use your thumb.
So curious, interesting decision. That's one of those things they sort of make a note. I run into her afterwards. I want to, what was going through your decision-making process when you go into the compression versus the pinch? They're smart climbers, so you know that there's a reason. Here we see Oscar making the adjustments, controlling the lower body there.
Et là, ce qui va être vraiment important, Pete, autant pour Buklachuk que Roy, il faut absolument qu'elle reste confiante dans leur tête. Il y a 3 autres problèmes qui s'en viennent, donc il faut absolument qu'elle reste positive pour repartir à 9.
And now come your last 2 finalists on boulder number 1, Nathan Smith and Alannah. Yep, a little smile from Alannah, a wave to the camera. Looking composed, as you see there. 4 tops to come in, as with Nathan Smith. They absolutely earned their top qualifying spot from the semifinal round. They move pretty quick on the first boulder. It's the one the shortest amount of time from preview to rock climbing, so they don't really have to go back and remember a whole lot. But Nathan's taking his time, and Alannah is up in the action. Nathan took a huge run up at that boulder. A couple of them have only taken a few steps, and he was all the way at the edge of the mat. Ooh, it looked like, like he was going to do something dramatic.
Bon petit réajustement ici.
You see Alannah get very high on the pinches. Nothing to chance, no dynamic movement at all at the top of that boulder. I would say that's clinical.
Oui, définitivement. Elle est dans son élément, elle est en contrôle total, donc elle grimpe avec confiance, elle sait où est-ce qu'elle peut amener son corps à sa force maximale et définitivement, serrer les prises, ce n'est pas un problème pour Alannah.
No, it never has been. We talk about all of the factors that go into climbing through an entire round, and when you distill it all out, Frank, being able to squeeze the holds for longer is the biggest advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
So Nathan Smith, a little, just kind of giving the boulder a bit of a long look. Is he adjusting his beta maybe, or is he just sort of getting recomposed?
Well, on a vu en semi-finale qu'il prenait de très très longs repos, notamment sur le problème numéro 2 où il a donné seulement 2 essais. Donc, c'était, selon moi, le bloc le plus physique de la ronde des semi-finales. Il a fait un bon essai. Il s'est rendu à 3/4 de la voie, retombé au sol et a attendu jusqu'à les dernières 40 secondes avant de repartir, dernières 45 secondes avant de repartir, et il a réussi. Donc, ça a été payant pour lui en semi-finale. Et il va probablement essayer de faire la même chose.
Yeah, he was taking much longer rest than most of the other climbers in the semifinal, and it's so just again, I would say a lack of focus. Right foot slipped. You can't move too quickly. The crimp is very bad. The crimp that they're going to after the zone hold is, I mean, if anything, it's a half a pad. It's a small crimp. You can't afford to bounce around too much. Maybe just a little overconfident in that movement.
Oui, il est rond. And it's rounded. It's not really sharp. It's not like one of the crimps that you buy, or one of those like 4 mil little piece of wood that you can buy these days. It's really all rounded, so it's half a pad, mais en plus de ça, c'est complètement rond.
And it's gross. It's gnarly. It's you get up there from the ground, you have an idea, like, I know that's a bad crimp, and the first time you grab it, you learn something from it. So now Nathan knows how bad the crimp is. So if he's making his adjustments, he's going to go with a little bit more control. He's going to know that he's got to hit that super precisely. No room for error, whereas before he thought maybe I can afford to stab and slide. Now he knows he needs to be much more accurate when he moves past the zone hold to that crimp before the last move. Nathan Smith with just a little bit of time if he slips, but really should be now. Slows it down. Really good adjustment.
Oh, no!
Oh! Made a great adjustment to reach the crimp and then almost saved the last move. However, it's all for nothing. Nathan Smith is going to leave Boulder 1 without a top.
You were right. He took a lot more time to position himself before going on that crimp, and he succeeded. The next move, though, was maybe that foot slip was too much.
Just a little bit too much to ask of the friction, a little bit too much to ask. Here we see Alannah. Just look all the way up. None of the other women got as high on the left side rail as she did. And then here you see a great adjustment from Nathan to slow this move down, and then just watch the last.
Oh, it's the foot.
Yeah, the right foot slides out. I mean, I promise you the angle doesn't do it justice. It looks like that bottom right triangle is a good platform. It's not. It's a 20-degree overhang and a 30-degree slab volume. And a climber as good as Nathan, when their feet slip like that, it's not because they've made a rookie mistake. That's the nature of the beast. So that's going to do it for Boulder number 1. That's how quick finals goes, ladies and gentlemen. You got to keep up. So right now, Ethan Hoffman, Victor Baudron, Lucas Uchida, Oscar Baudron, all top Boulder number 1. Sean Faulkner with a zone, Nathan Smith with a zone, putting them at a disadvantage going into the next 3 boulders.
Ouais, et chez les femmes, c'est Alannah qui est à égalité avec Evangelina Briggs et Indiana Chapman. Tous les 3 ont flashé le bloc du premier coup. Et Madison Fisher a réussi à faire un top en 2 essais. Babette 3 et Paige Boklachuk, elles, ont réussi à sécuriser une zone.
So kind of the same story on both sides of the field. 3 tops and 2 zones. And I am excited. The women for their second boulder are on the gnarly slab on the left-hand side where we saw the men's 4th semifinal boulder. And this thing is just, again, it's a faith-based boulder, commitment, risk involved. Anytime you have slabs on less than vertical climbing in a semifinal or a final round, you need to be careful. And Sean Faulkner just makes quick decisions.
Wow.
And
he's there. Yeah. That's a quick flash. 30 seconds almost.
Okay. Sean Faulkner. Boulder number 2.
Yeah. So, un peu de difficulté sur le bloc numéro 1, mais le bloc numéro 2, 30 secondes plus tard, c'était fait.
C'était fait. Indiana just got up into the slab. You will get a good look at it here. There's a little hand footwork. And then this that she's going to is so bad, Frank. It's a nasty little thumb crimp underneath, surrounded by a dual textured, slopey. It's bad.
Ouais, it's the size of a grape. Hein? C'est comme un petit raisin sec qu'il faut aller pincer avec le pouce et l'index. Et regardez le pied gauche sur lequel elle s'appuie. C'est vraiment une fabrication de prise. Hein? On est venu prendre 3 volumes et on les a placés de façon différente, un par-dessus l'autre, pour venir vraiment créer une prise complètement nouvelle. Donc, super ingéniosité de la part des ouvreurs sur ce bloc aussi.
C'est la bricolage. C'est un des autres trucs les ouvreurs, c'est du bricolage.
Oui, mais c'est surtout qu'on essaie de fabriquer des prises que les grimpeurs n'ont pas encore vues. Donc, on crée vraiment un effet de surprise et les grimpeurs, ils ne le voient pas lorsqu'ils s'entraînent à la maison. C'est pas une prise conventionnelle. Donc, regardez, on essaie de faire d'autres options pour essayer de trouver la bonne méthode.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, very interesting. But when you're in that moment and you have chosen what you think is your first choice, you've tried it once or twice, you've got a backup. There's a plan B. Sometimes your plan B has a plan B. You can't have too many options. See, immediately Indiana going back to option A. There's an internal fight that the route setters love presenting you with, which is there is what you need to do and there's what you want to do. And there are many times where what you want to do is, in fact, the wrong thing to send the boulder. So you have to get uncomfortable. And in the words of Sienakov, brilliantly stated, you need to become comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that is how you succeed on finals boulders. You have to embrace it. You have to be okay with, I'm going to have to go to this terrible thumb undercling. It doesn't matter that I hate it. It doesn't matter that it's bad balance. It doesn't matter that it bites in my skin. Tomorrow, it won't matter. Ouais,
de toute façon, quand on fait de la compétition, on ne peut pas s'attendre à toujours être dans le confort. Hein. On doit perdre des fois, on doit se sentir un peu choqué de temps en temps. Et regardez, on voit très bien ici la petite prise qu'on doit aller pincer. Donc, c'est comme une espèce de prise avec un petit morceau qui sort. Il faut aller pincer avec le pouce et l'index. Je crois qu'il faut aller pousser avec le pouce par en dessous, en inversé. Mais définitivement, ce n'est pas une méthode que Indiana aime. Donc, elle essaie autre chose.
She's going to try and go here. An interesting way to maybe get, yes,
Whoa.
She will secure the zone this way. I wonder, I'm so curious now, having seen this, if the route setters thought this was a functional option. Often, they see it. If it's just as hard, they let it stand.
Mais tu vois, au moins, Indiana et Chapman, elle était capable d'aller sécuriser la zone avec seulement 5 secondes à faire. Donc, c'est intelligent ce qu'elle a fait quand même. Très bonne compétitrice.
I agree. She saw that maybe this was the best way to simply get a zone. She didn't see herself getting to the top of the boulder, made a decision to go and make that move, did secure a zone. If you can't top the boulder, absolutely get your hand on the zone hold. That is how we get through the ties from tops. Tops are king. After that, it matters how many zones and it matters how many tries. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, if you were a little late catching up, maybe if you had a Sunday afternoon nap, we are here. Pete Woods, Frank Perizien, 2021 Canadian Boulder Nationals in St-Foy, Quebec at Délire, and we are into Boulder number 2, and so far so good. We've had ourselves quite the competition. Evangelina Briggs now, and Ethan Hoffman. A little quick brush, a little look. Evangelina Briggs has been sporting those braids in competition for a number of years now. It's becoming a bit of a trademark, I think.
I love it. Looks badass, if you ask me.
It does. And she's sort of looking around. There's a good idea. That shows you how far she's got to go. Good idea, a good look at the angle. And Ethan just a little bit shy. Ooh. I can't believe she held on to that. That was a
strong.
Very strong. Ooh, nice work from Ethan. And I think from that moment, from here, there you see Evangelina on your left.
That was almost easy.
Yes. She just came up much slower than Indiana did. She didn't have any momentum to stop. She just crawled up the wall. Oh, Ethan Hoffman, quick work. Evangelina Briggs Now has to come down around this zone hold.
Ouais, on se demandait hein, lors qu'on a vu le problème. Moi, je me demandais, est-ce qu'on va passer par en dessous? Est-ce qu'on va passer par en haut? Comment on va manipuler cette prise de zone pour progresser sur la deuxième section de ce problème? Pour moi, c'était pas clair dans ma tête. Donc, ça va être intéressant de découvrir ça avec Evangelina Briggs.
Yeah. The top, grabbing the top of this zone, you see she's choosing still to keep that false grip wrapped around because it's a terrible sloper on top. And she's got to get her most of her center of mass over to the left.
Ooh,
or no, she's
wow.
just going to stay.
She's matching it.
She matched it. Woo! Evangelina Briggs, I did not see that as a match.
Wow. I don't think the setters saw that as a match.
That is not out of character for her, is to take a small hold and make it basically do whatever she wants. That was a little bit of creative climbing from Evangelina Briggs. It didn't really solve the answer of whether you have to go under or over. She just went across the face of the zone hold.
Ouais, elle utilise souvent sa propre méthode. Hein. C'est une méthode qui est particulière à elle-même. On voit souvent des placements de pieds vraiment, vraiment différents des autres chez Evangelina Briggs. Donc, c'est vraiment intéressant alors qu'on revoit ici Hoffman.
Kind of casually, the last move presents a little more difficulty than it climbs. And look at this here. That match, really something else. And then just really careful with the right foot. No mistakes. Impressive.
OK, maintenant, Madison Fisher, du bout des doigts sur le bloc numéro 1. Qu'est-ce qu'elle va faire sur le bloc numéro 2? Et Lucas?
Having a look through. Just making sure you remember what you were going to do. Ooh. You got a little caught looking. When you have a coordination style boulder, Frank, when you have to move your feet at the same time as your hands, you saw Lucas there really focused on where he was going with his hands and completely missed the foot stab. As we have Madison just kind of popped up.
Intéressant. Lucas Uchida qui va devoir prendre plus de 2 essais.
And he's going to need just a little more spring in his step, I think, to get up over into those 2 holds over the lip. Madison. Oh!
Wow! What a save!
2 fingers, Frank. She saved that with the full extension of 2 fingers. A little shrug. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. That's right. Lucas just a little bit still trying to solve the amount of momentum to bring to this boulder. That was a fantastic save from Madison Fisher.
Ah, j'étais sûr qu'elle tombait.
Wait.
Quel rattrapage.
She had her like full body weight coming out and just willed her fingers to stay in that crimp. All right, Lucas Uchida. Lots of time.
Oh!
Slowing down the movement here a little bit.
Et puis, c'est toujours impressionnant de voir un grimpeur comme Sean Faulkner qui réussit le bloc flash du premier coup et ça avait l'air extrêmement facile. Donc, vraiment des aptitudes différentes. Hein? Donc, c'est pas parce qu'on réussit sur un problème qu'on va réussir à faire la même chose sur les autres.
Yeah, and that's why the root setters are, they're here because they're very good at creating different styles of climbing. As you say, just because you can do 1 doesn't mean you can do 2. I've seen, finals where a climber will come out and flash 1 and 2 and then not get a zone on 3 and 4, and the exact opposite happens on the other half of the field. We saw some of that in the semifinal. Some of the climbers did boulder number 2 with ease on the men's side and the women's side, and some got not even halfway up the boulder, but yet were able to climb, 3 and 4. There's lots of climbing to be done in a funnel. It never does well to make quick judgments after the first 2 climbers on a boulder. Oh, it's too easy. Oh, it's too hard. You've got to let everybody come through and show you what they're good at, show you what kind of style they like to move in, and show you where their headspace is at. So Lucas just forcing himself to take an extra minute, have a sit down, take a deep breath. He's really got to put a little bit more bounce into his step here. I think he's just got to get higher.
Yeah. Voyons voir. Oui, un meilleur pop, comme tu dis. Il a poussé un peu plus avec ses jambes cette fois-ci. Donc, bonne transition. Maintenant, il doit compléter.
L'ajustement nécessaire pour pousser. Lucas Tsuchida took him 3 or 4 tries, but he got there. So a rueful smile. He's like, yes, just going to check. Have a quick look with the judge. They show the climber, yes, we gave it to you. This many tries. I think I saw 7 on there. And so the climbers have a minute to acknowledge.
J'ai comme l'impression...
Watch this save. Here it is, Frank.
Ouais, ça vaut la peine de regarder. Hein?
Look at the left hand.
Oh! Et c'est retenu avec sa main droite, en fait. Hein?
Yeah. Wow. That is a replay moment if there's going to be one. I'm so impressed.
She was able to squeeze her right hand all the way to the end, and that's how she saved it. And then Lucas here, once he was on his feet, no problemo.
Just a half a second there where it looked like maybe insecure, but you know once he had that crimp in his hand, he wasn't going to let it go.
Ouais, peut-être qu'il était un peu nerveux. Il savait que c'était son dernier essai. Le temps filait.
And back with that, we're Paige Buckleschuk and Victor Baudran, the first of the Baudran brothers. Boom, here we go, 4 minutes.
Victor Baudran, un premier bloc en 3 essais. Paige n'a pas réussi le premier bloc, donc là, attention par contre. Hein, si elle ne réussit pas ce bloc, ça va commencer à être un peu difficile pour elle. Donc, il y a un petit peu de pression pour Paige Buckleschuk en ce moment.
Nice catch.
Oui.
Just all thumb. And then just careful movement here. As soon as you apply weight to the left foot on the angle that it's on here, this is where it gets risky, this boulder. And the route setters ask a lot of you here because almost all of it has to come into your left foot. She does a great job keeping that friction point.
Wow, ça c'était bien. Elle est restée basse. Elle est restée basse pour faire le changement de pied. Et maintenant, elle monte. Elle va chercher le crimp en premier.
Oh, a good save there as well.
Bonne coordination. Force contact.
And then, just you see, she's turned around on this last hold. This is the first one we've seen standing, and she is going to reverse it.
Voilà, il fallait ouvrir les hanches pour réussir à monter.
Just for a moment, you think it's good to stand and reach. And no, as you say, right away, she opened back up on her hips. And that's a flash from Paige. That'll make her feel a little more solid in this round.
Ouais, son genou droit pointait vers la droite. Et il a fallu qu'elle essaie d'ouvrir ses hanches en pointant son genou droit vers en fait, son genou pointait vers la gauche. Et il fallait qu'elle pointe vers la droite pour vraiment ouvrir le bassin et réussir à monter pour aller chercher le top.
Yeah, and as soon as you open your hips up like that, it changes the way you're able to sort of sit your balance. Good save there from Victor.
That was halfway slow-mo.
It was. He's just figure out what he was looking down at. But he's, I think, going to make no mistake on the top. So a few swings. Ooh, very gentle finish.
Ouais.
Victor Baudran took him a few tries, but
5 essais. 5 essais. 5 tries. J'ai comme l'impression, Pete, que ça va se jouer sur ces essais. Hein? Vraiment, là, on a des grimpeurs qui sont très, très proches un de l'autre physiquement. Et ça va vraiment se jouer, je crois, sur le nombre d'essais plutôt que sur le nombre de tops.
And that is common to see. We talked about it in the semifinal. We're talking about it now. Every round is going to have a flavor. You might get, here we see Paige just making this adjustment. Watch how the opening, she readjusts the left hand, and then here, so much more balance.
Oui, c'est que si elle avait essayé de monter alors que son genou pointait vers la gauche, elle se serait fait décoller du mur et peut-être qu'elle n'aurait pas été capable de tenir la dernière prise. Donc, elle a préféré ouvrir la hanche pour rester le plus collé possible du mur. Regardez à quel point les grimpeurs restent proches du mur. Je crois que Lucas Tsuchida, les plaies qu'il a au visage, c'est parce qu'il frotte son visage sur le mur tellement qu'on est proche du mur, justement, pour rester le plus près possible, enlever la pression sur les pieds et les doigts.
When the holds are as bad as they are and the angles are shallow like this, and it's so important that your weight stays over your feet, and sometimes you need to lead with your face. Babette Roy, as you say, one of the shorter competitors on the women's side. But
oui.
No problem at all. Whereas we see Oscar Boulder taking a few tries to get established off the ground. And interesting there, I'm not sure why that switch, she made that switch, but I think no harm, no foul.
Une chance qu'elle est bonne en coordination, hein, parce qu'elle est définitivement un peu plus petite que les autres compétitrices. Elle doit alors bouger de façon un peu plus dynamique. Parfois, ça va être intéressant de voir comment elle va aller chercher ce crimp maintenant.
And she's sort of getting a little farther around the left side of the zone. It looks like she's trying to sort of lay back, which is put. She went looking. There is a tiny, tiny little crimpy foothold there, but you're not secure enough on that zone hold. It's so slopey. If you come away from the wall to get your left foot on, as you saw Babette try there, you just start to fall off. This is the crimp. It's blocked. You see the hold on the left. It's only there to affect the accuracy. You must land right in that space. If you're a little bit too far left and you hit that left hand blocking, you're going to slide across and you're going to miss that left hand crimp. So you need to be very, very accurate. You have to slow down a little bit. You can't be jittery in your movements.
Ouais, donc non seulement le bloc, les ouvreurs ont designé un bloc qui était technique, qui est difficile physiquement, mais en plus de ça, on apporte un élément de précision pour être sûr que les athlètes soient bien connectés. C'est comme ça qu'on arrive à faire des séparations.
You see just a little bit of a change of plan from Oscar there. Maybe I can just stick it with my right hand and then match. So far, the opening coordination move has been proven to be shutting him down. Now he's going to try that again. Kind of not sure what to do. Babette maybe rushing it a little bit that time. As we said earlier, if you were watching the semifinal, this angle, this slab that the men were on, you don't have to be falling away by very much before it becomes an unrecoverable mistake, especially with literally nothing to grab. You know, you're just pressing into the thumb, and if you are off balance, it's not enough to save you. It's all in the balance and feet. Babette with a minute. The top of this boulder climbs very slowly. So this should be thinking about it. You don't want to fall again after spending 30+ seconds on this boulder.
Ah, ses mains sont mieux placées maintenant. Maintenant, il doit s'étirer pour aller chercher le petit crimp.
Trust the left foot, and just again, what do I need to do? Maybe a bit of frustration. Definitely a bit of frustration. 30 seconds. I don't think she's going to get another swing at this one. Oh, she is. Meanwhile, Oscar unable to get established on the first hold. He might walk away without a zone on this boulder.
Ah, il doit pousser plus avec ses jambes pour monter plus haut, un peu comme Lucas a réajusté son mouvement en poussant un peu plus fort avec les jambes pour monter plus haut dans les prises. Il reste très bas dans les prises, vous voyez. Il met sa main, il reste complètement allongé avec son bras complètement étendu alors qu'il doit monter plus haut pour utiliser plus le biceps. Ça donne un meilleur contrôle aussi.
Yeah, or just jump higher. So as you say, he's trying to stay low and swing across and just generate sort of pendulum-style momentum. Whereas, as we've seen, the best way to do it is to just get up high and really jump. So, just as interestingly as we saw people unsuccessful on boulder 1, you're going to have Oscar Boulder unable to do boulder number 2. That's going to leave Nathan Smith, who also only got a zone on boulder 1. And Alannah, yep, you see them a little fist bump there. You kind of get a bit of companionship with your partner. You come out together on every boulder. So, as we have said many times, the community in climbing is so focused on that desire to see your competitors do well. So you want to win a competition, but you don't want to win at the expense of someone else. You want everybody to climb well. You just want to have the best day you can have, and if you come out on top, you come out on top.
Une chose qui m'a marqué au North American Cup Series à Canada, Alannah, lorsqu'elle finissait un bloc et que l'autre grimpeur n'avait pas encore fini, elle restait sur les matelas plutôt que retourner en isolation. Elle restait sur les matelas pour voir le problème, même si ça n'avait aucune importance pour sa propre compétition.
I love that. And look how slowly, almost and not quite. So she went so slowly, and even then, with no momentum at all, slipped out of that hold. It is, I mean, Frank, it's just really bad.
You don't need much to fall off that wall.
No. Nathan Smith, again, took one try and has given himself nearly 45 seconds at this point. So this is obviously a strategy from him where he's trying to take longer rests. I do remember him being sort of very explosive, trying boulders in rapid succession. Well done. Smith with a good catch there, and Alannah Yip making good progress as well. That's going to be a top here. Ooh, just got to get that, maybe the drop knee.
Ouh, il n'est pas du bon côté, son genou. Il doit virer son genou de côté.
Oh, I don't know that's going to be.
Voilà.
Oh, c'est difficile. Ooh. Alannah Yip unable to cross over the zone, and Nathan Smith unable to unlock the finishing move. So as we saw the first couple of climbers, Sean, Ethan, Lucas, once they had the zone crimp, the finish was basically, Lucas maybe thought about it for a half a second, but here we see Nathan unable to get into the right position. He thought he could just palm and hold, and the tension, the wall kicks back, right? There is an overhang there. So just a little bit, maybe surprised to be that close, one hand on the finish. And falling off is not necessarily good for your mindset.
Ouais, sur son premier essai vers la prise de finish, la prise de fin, la prise de top, il n'avait pas fait la lolotte du côté gauche avec sa jambe, c'est seulement après. Donc ça va être intéressant de voir sur son deuxième essai s'il va essayer de faire la lolotte directement en premier. Et regardez-moi la force de jambe d'Alannah Yip. Monter à une seule jambe comme ça, ça prend vraiment tout un contrôle musculaire au niveau des jambes. Bravo, ça c'est vraiment une force, c'est vraiment de la force pure et dure.
Yeah, when next time you're in the gym, go do your high box step-ups. It is a very useful movement, especially in slab climbing. Alannah this is interesting here. This is the first we've seen that's tried to just twist around. But that zone hold, the farther left you go, the worse it gets. So interesting here. As we see Nathan back up, now that he's learned the opening movement, he won't miss it again. Lots of time, Nathan, but he sort of seems to be staying right side. He's going to try and just add compression in his feet. I don't know that he sees it, Frank.
Non, je crois pas qu'il voit la lolotte comme étant... Et pourtant, il a essayé, mais ça semblait pas être quelque chose qui... Ça semblait pas être quelque chose qui se semblait confortable. Donc, peut-être qu'il voit pas vraiment qu'il peut faire la lolotte. C'est vraiment... pourtant, ça semblait si facile chez les autres grimpeurs.
And here we are with 20 seconds left. Alannah Yip is down to her last try. Nathan Smith is going to give it one more as well. Alannah electing to stay with this twist. This is so difficult, Frank. Wow. So difficult. And Nathan just maybe out of gas and rushing. Alannah unable to secure the crimp. That's how subtle slab climbing is. Frank, a difference of a few degrees, and Alannah Yip unable to secure a top on boulder number 2.
Ouais, je trouve ça quand même assez intéressant comme décision. C'est comme si elle n'avait... Regardez si la lolotte que je vous parlais, il l'avait fait la lolotte, mais c'est comme s'il se sentait pas assez confortable. Donc il s'est dit, non, je vais pas répéter cette méthode. C'est pas quelque chose que je crois qu'il est possible de faire. Donc c'est comme s'il il avait éliminé cette option de sa tête.
Yeah, and then when he tried to bicycle the bottom, and I mean, when you're very strong, sometimes you try to do strong things and you don't think to be clever. You're like, oh, I'll just squeeze the last hold and make it work. But it's so hard to see here. The gray panel overhangs enough that the last move, very difficult. The crimp on the zone here, terrible. Not enough for him to hang on. You see there, that little yellow scoop. That's the adjustments. That's how it was originally set. The yellow drawing on the wall to the right of that zone crimp. That's how they know when they set the boulders earlier in the week. Then they come back to put the finals up. When they forehand, they moved it just a little bit farther away. They felt even that adjustment changes, the angle from the lock-off to the press, all of these adjustments. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about route setters learning and reacting. They moved that hold an inch and a half. Someone thought that was important, and maybe that was the reason that Nathan doesn't top that boulder.
Maybe.
Right, we're on boulder number 3. Halfway through, just like that. if you're keeping score at home, cec.results.info, but we'll give you a little help here. Right now, Ethan Hoffman still at the top of the pile. Victor Boulder right behind. Lucas Uchida sitting behind on attempts. And then Sean, Oscar, and Sean with one top and one zone. Oscar with one top and no zone on number 2. And Nathan with 2 zones.
Ouais, et chez les femmes, Angelina Briggs qui prend la tête avec 2 tops, 2 flashs. Madison Fisher en 2e place. Paige Buklachuk qui se reprend bien. Elle est en 3e place pour le moment. Ensuite, suivi de Alannah Yip, Indiana Chapman qui est sur le problème en ce moment. Et finalement, Babette Roy.
And the men now on their slab boulder. This is slow and nasty. The white holds, the large surfaces are all dual texture. So if you're trying to grab, even when you're thumb pressing and you try and get your hand on them, it's gnarly. Here's a good look at the zone hold. The women are essentially controlled jumping too. It's not an all points off, but they're moving very dynamically. It's a nasty little crimp. Indiana Chapman, 0 for 2. Lots of options for feet. When you think about careful footwork, maybe when you went to the gym, you think that it's hard only when the footholds are very small. But when you have a foothold like this where you can step wherever you want and you still have to decide where to be, trying to go feet onto the press before reaching the zone crimp, this move on the women's third boulder is going to be some kind of complexity.
Yeah, that little crimp where they're jumping at is not existent, really.
No.
And with the kind of momentum they're going to come with, look at that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you control that? Wow.
It has to be the right foot stab and then so much core tension. You're going to watch the left foot kind of scorpion around. If you can disassociate your upper body from your lower body and you sort of control the swing in your midsection, that's going to be one of the keys, I think, to this boulder. And we'll watch it unlock, and we'll see when people get close or are successful what kind of adjustments they're making. You have to generate momentum to get there and then immediately slow it down.
Ouais,
Very intricate.
Definitely. Et c'est le genre de problème qui est dur à résoudre en seulement 4 minutes parce qu'il faut travailler le placement de pied lorsqu'on court sur le volume et ça se fait pas en seulement 3 essais.
Frank, that's going to be hard to solve in a week of tries, let alone 4 minutes.
Oh, that was much better.
You see Indiana slowed down, so you go from how far do I have to go to maybe I went a little slower and now I have to go a little faster. So you have 3 or 4 tries to dial in the amount of effort and the amount of explosivity you're going to put in there.
Yeah,
the back of Sean McColl's head. A reluctant spectator, I think.
I was going to say, one of the mistakes that we often do in gyms is we give ourselves too much momentum on dynos. So sometimes you need to slow things down to like really reduce the momentum. So when you get that hold where you want to end up, you don't get barn door out.
Yeah, that balance is so critical. And that's something that as you get better at trying these kinds of boulders, you start to learn how to focus that. Go fast enough to get there, but not so fast that you can't control your own momentum.
Yeah,
and it's so difficult to learn. A learned movement in 4 minutes, Frank, is man, it's so much to ask. This is almost. She's looking at her fingertips. Every time you miss that crimp, you're risking skin. Sean Faulkner has established the zone. He did get it earlier on an earlier try. He pressed into it and made a careful movement, trying different beta. So, Boulder 3, all of a sudden, looks like the volume has been turned up a little bit. And it's going to turn away both these climbers, and their other finalists will know, just as well as they know that boulders were sent because of crowd reaction. The other finalists are going to know that boulder number 3 has turned away Sean and Indiana. And
difficult.
Very
difficult. And the angle, les angles des volumes sont tellement mauvais. En fait, ça paraît beaucoup mieux à la télévision. Vraiment, là, quand je me suis approché tout à l'heure sur le problème numéro 3 des hommes, je me disais, bah, c'est impossible pour moi de faire ça. C'est impossible. Littéralement, là, c'est vraiment impressionnant.
You see, you'll get a look here when Ethan gets up this boulder. As you see him brushing, there is a tiny jib that you can sort of get you see the black hole there on the corner. The left foothold that he's brushing, it's positive, but so small. So even getting off the ground, you have to be focused. You have to you're squeezing harder than you want to. You're in your calves a lot. So the root setters are stealing a bit of energy, even though you're moving in interesting.
With the palm down.
Palm down, left hand. So that fundamentally different from Indiana's beta.
Once again, she'll have to match that then to continue our progression on the blue holds after that.
I feel that she has no problem matching. It's 3 times the size of the last crimp she matched. To her, that's a finger bucket. And they're a wonderful example of the amount of Evangelina Briggs, left hand palm down.
Not even thinking about it, matching it, no problem.
And now here it goes from tiny crimps to
really?
Pinch heave.
Interesting.
Interesting. I don't.
Wow.
Wow. Evangelina Briggs, I did not see this as the solution.
Wow.
That is an incredible piece of climbing.
That's incredible.
I think she smiled. I'm not sure. She doesn't show a lot of emotion in her climbing rounds.
Maybe she looked at the setter. It's like, gotcha.
I got you. And then Ethan here just wrestling with these big half moons and how bad the foot angles are. I did not see feet first, Frank.
Nobody. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah, a bit of a burly. I mean, there's no feet down there, so just maybe they're more clever than we are.
Oh, it's fearless.
Yeah.
Vraiment, là, ça fait peur, hein, mettre les pieds. Il faut se rappeler qu'on est à 13, 14 pieds du sol. Et si le pied décroche, on tombe directement sur le dos, voire peut-être même la tête. Donc, c'est un risque. Yeah. C'est un risque que l'athlète prend. Et vraiment, ça semblait pas très stressant pour elle.
This is a really good look at how to create hard slab climbing. If you're the kind of climber, if you're like me, and when you go to the gym for a session and you see the slab boulders and you think, those look terrible, and you move on, it's something to put in your repertoire of climbing. It can be gross, it can be difficult, but being good at slab climbing is something that is an absolute requirement to be a competitor. As much as you might not want to have to put the time in to be frustrated in ways like this, but when you have nothing to crimp and grab and you're relying on your balance and your footwork, it changes the way you think about movement. So this is a minute to go here. Ethan Hoffman, just keep an eye on his feet. He's got to reach out. Heels have to be low. And just, you see the left foot, the smallest slip, and neither one of those half moons is enough for him to hold his body weight. If the feet go, you're off.
Well, you're basically holding on friction, so.
Seulement la friction. Regarde bien les pieds.
Un pied gauche encore, hein?
Yeah.
It's like he needs to match his foot on that little jib, you know, that little black jib they put. So maybe.
But then you're so low.
Yeah, it's
There's
low.
a reason they're not using it. Maybe it's too low because, you know, you're pressing up into that. Here's a fantastic Evangelina holding the swing.
Now look at that.
Let's just watch her go through here. Feet first.
She's not even hesitating. Like, c'est comme un deuxième sens. C'est comme, je vais faire ça comme ça, je me pose pas la question. C'est comme si elle l'avait lu comme ça dans sa tête.
And then she leaves the toe behind. I would invite you to try and touch your own toes under tension.
13 feet in the air.
13 feet in the air. Lucas Uchida, bruised and focused. And Madison Fisher.
Ah, là, ça va vraiment être intéressant de voir si on fait une vraie séparation ici sur ce bloc. Hein?
Yeah, we're going to test the women here. The ability to do high stress moves. So she's going to go that what we saw, the Indiana's instincts. And then as you say, is there a way to match this tiny foot that Lucas is on?
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he manages to get through to the zone. So that's good strategy. Even if he comes back, yeah, he's gone and established the zone early on, so he knows he's got that on a flash try.
It looks hard to match.
Yeah. Ooh, Fisher, she looks close there.
We did it.
He did do it. And now he's got to trust even more.
Maybe you got to stay low.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Fisher only taking 3 tries to solve that movement, and she's going to go hand-foot match. This is for sure the Burley way. Burley way.
Yeah. Hand-foot match and then full-on dyno.
And those pinches, they're wide, they're bad, and that section of the wall, it changes angles pretty dramatically from just a little over vertical to probably almost 30 degrees. And Lucas sort of trying to avoid the foot match. Can he make an earlier cross? Throws that out right away. You're thinking on the fly on a boulder like this. Everything you try, you're wondering if you're making the right choice. A slow climbing boulder.
That foot match looks very, very difficult. It's right on the edge.
Yeah. So this is a wonderful example here, Frank. Just because you've done an opening move once, if it's stressful, if it's risky, if it's difficult, doesn't mean you're going to do it second, third, and fourth try on the boulder. So you have to absolutely stay focused because you might never do the first move again. Lucas Uchida, so careful. It needs to come. Ooh.
I thought he had it on that one.
I thought he had it there. Just glaring at the clock.
This is so impressive.
Good save that time. Again, hand-foot match. She's going to stay this way. And a dead point here.
Yo!
Madison Vischer secures the top. Took her a few tries, and you see Lucas. This is the. Oh, I sort of can't believe he saved that. Lucas, lots of time, but this is the last try. He's got to get through. That heel hook is also going to be really insecure.
Oh, no!
Yeah. He's looking at the clock like 30 seconds is enough time to get up there, but no. No. Shake of the head. Good work. That left heel hook, Frank. The hold is so... It's not friendly. There is friction in the inside of the scoop, but it's a very sharp slope. So here Madison Vischer basically just bearing down to get it done.
Moi, ça m'impressionne tellement, ce mouvement.
Right here.
You know, it used to be that you would dyno or run into big jogs, you know? And now they do it on crimps.
Yeah.
It's very, very impressive to me.
Watch the left heel here. He's almost there and off in a heartbeat. Okay. Victor Baudrin, Paige Boklaschuk. Paige with a quick brush. Now we've seen 2 with the run and right hand, and only Evangelina with the stab. Crowd liking hometown. They love seeing the alley up jersey. Paige going with the run and stab, and Victor into the slab.
He's also taller, so he can use more of a press at his chest. Allez, c'est reparti pour Paige.
Ooh, just slipping the feet. you have to talk yourself into taking, a 10 or 15 second rest on a boulder like this where you feel like you haven't done a lot of work, but you can't just throw yourself at it over and over and over again. You have to compose yourself, even just to sort of recenter.
Il est confortable quand même dans ses pieds.
Yeah. Ooh, just as you say it.
Yeah.
That's the margin of error. Half a pound of extra weight on the foot changes it. So Paige just a little slow with her feet to get through there. Madison definitely was quicker with the right foot stab. Paige is reaching for that zone hold and then following with the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Madison had her foot out sooner, so it was a little bit more instantaneous.
Mm-hmm. They were processing the run-in completely different.
Half the time gone down. Not time to panic yet for Paige. That's much closer.
That was definitely very close. She needs to put his foot just a little bit higher.
Yeah. See, a good look. Victor has big hands. An advantage in a lot of areas. You get a little extra friction.
Ouais. Buklachuk, qui donne beaucoup d'essais, elle le sait. Si elle veut rester pour une chance sur le podium, elle doit réussir ce bloc. Oh oui!
Yes.
Peut-elle compléter cette fois-ci?
And she's going to go. She's trying to go 1-2. Doesn't like. She didn't even look at the hand-foot match.
Non, elle n'y a pas pensé du tout.
But she had a smear and a dyno. Didn't miss it by much either.
I think she's going to repeat that.
Yeah. Victor Boulder out very high on his right foot. I don't know that that's going to serve him particularly well moving through the zone. Oof.
Luca Uchida était beaucoup plus bas dans son mouvement pour faire la transition. Donc, ça va être intéressant de voir les autres grimpeurs si on va aussi réajuster, utiliser une méthode pour passer un peu plus sur le dessous des prises.
Mm-hmm. Paige.
Wow.
Is she going to do the same thing? It looks like it. 1-2.
Oh! Oh! Elle est contente.
Ecstatic.
Wow.
Frank with a smear and a 1-2. So we've seen feet first, we've seen hand-foot controlled power, and we just saw Paige go 1-2-3.
I love it.
That is a really, really, really cool method, and she will be so happy to have got that done at the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
Victor's going to run out of time. Is a valiant effort, but it's not enough. He's already secured the zone. He got it early on, and that's going to do it. When the clock hits 0, it doesn't matter where you are.
It didn't hear it.
Yeah. Definitely too focused. He's like, oh, time was up. I didn't know.
Honnêtement, Pete, moi, le succès d'un bloc dans une compétition, c'est vraiment de voir qu'on est capable de faire le bloc de façon différente. C'est vraiment impressionnant de voir que les athlètes peuvent utiliser des méthodes complètement différentes et quand même réussir c'est vraiment la beauté de la chose pour moi. Regardez bien comment elle a bien contrôlé. Bon, cette première partie, ça va, mais c'est surtout cette deuxième partie, elle va vraiment y aller avec toute sa force et à un seul bras réussi à retenir.
From a smear, Frank. No foothold to generate that momentum from. If someone holds that hold long enough for to have a look at it, it's a pinch. It's those two pinchy holds, they're not jugs. She's not generating a lot of momentum. I think that's the most difficult method, but she made it work.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Those pinches are completely round. The friction on those are not ideal either. No. It's not one of the holds where you have super big friction on it.
No.
So, yeah, really you got to go for it.
My God. And she only just barely stuck the finish hold. All right, focus on Babette Droit. Congratulations to Paige, and now our attention goes to Babette and to
Oscar. Oscar Baudran, le frère de Victor Baudran, les deux en finale.
And it's so funny. One is officially from Quebec, and one is officially from BC.
Well,
they're in school. They're living in different places.
They're both from BCs, but Victor Baudran moved to Sherbrooke. Il est allé à l'université de Sherbrooke, donc il est venu au Québec à temps plein. Il a donc une licence québécoise. At the end, they're all competing for Canada when they go on the overseas.
That's true. That's true. We don't set for aesthetics, but it's always nice to see. I love the look of this men's boulder. Those 3 half moons and the finish hold the same. It's a good-looking boulder. Just up high on his feet, trying to use the attachment point where it's touching the wall. Sometimes that works, but more often than not, you need to commit. You need to drop your heels down. If you've been watching the semifinal, I've been watching so far, we're talking about slab techniques. As Babette goes for, much closer.
Beaucoup de momentum, par contre. Il doit ralentir un peu son mouvement.
When we talk about moving across slab, as the gentlemen are on the right, you want as much of your shoe rubber on those volumes as possible, which means you've got to lower down in your heels, which is very difficult when you're pressing up into your palms. So although this might not seem to you at home as anything other than delicate, it's complex in the subtlety of you need to press, but as soon as you get into your toes, then you watch almost to this point, every climber fall off because they're trying to push too far into their toes to generate that force. So this is a clever boulder between what you need to do to keep your hands engaged, like a rag doll, and what you need to do to keep your feet engaged.
Well, for the boys, on that problem, I think you need to stay low on it. Victor Baudran was able to succeed and make that traverse, staying low on it on his last effort. So really, I think the best choice is to try to stay as low as possible.
And it's counterintuitive. We go back to she tries to go en dynamique en tout cas. Oh, Babette!
Oui! Avec encore une minute, elle a le temps.
Beaucoup de temps. She goes hand-foot match. Babette en total control.
Oui! Même chose que Paige Buklachuk.
Yeah.
Même chose.
She looks disappointed. Maybe she was hoping to do it sooner, but she should be very happy with the top there. She was a combination. She got her right foot on, so she did the hand-foot match and then the same hand finish as Paige. So
right.
Now we've seen 5 methods from 5 climbers. And,
wow.
That's a hope and a prayer on that side of things from Oscar.
Ouais, définitivement. Un peu à bout d'options là en termes de méthode. Donc, et puis je peux vous dire que elles sont vraiment, vraiment évasées, ces prises. Donc, c'est impossible de sauter et de réussir à tenir.
So here we get a good look at Babette. She moves so quickly after sticking it. Right toe on, and then 1-2.
Ah oui.
Yeah, so a little slower in control there. And although should be very happy, she did look a little bit unsure. And then we're going to bring us to Nathan Smith and Alannah Yip. So Boulder 3 lacking a top for the gentlemen. And Alannah, we'll see what version of the beta she uses. So far, only Evangelina with the palm down stick on the zone. Ethan Hoffman, though, still sitting at the front of the field based on attempts in the first 2 boulders.
Ça va être intéressant de voir Alannah Yip ici. Hein? Elle a beaucoup d'expérience. Ah oui!
Première fois,
je le pressentais.
Well, she's going to go toe on the zone and in control. I see no doubt.
Wow!
Alannah Yip, total class, flashing the boulder.
Well, that's the difference. When you have a lot of experience, you've seen a lot of movement. And she has been competing in the AFFC on World Cups, so she knows those kind of movements.
That was fantastic. Well read, well executed. That is good stuff. Alannah Yip.
Well, there's a reason why she represented Canada at the Olympics.
However, by not topping Boulder 2, that leaves her shy of Evangelina and Madison, who've topped all 3 boulders. So with that, just while Nathan takes a little bit of a moment to think, sitting at the top of the field right now, Evangelina Briggs, then Madison Fisher, both with 3 tops. Alannah Yip with 2 and a zone. And then Paige with 2 in a zone, separated by attempts. So Alannah with only 2 attempts to get her tops. Paige with 8. Babette Dubois with 1 top. Indiana Chapman with 1 top. And back to Nathan. Can he solve this? Lucas has been the closest.
Regarde, il reste bas. Il reste bas. Est-ce qu'il va réussir en restant bas?
And just look how much squeeze, Frank. Look how much squeeze.
Ah, intelligent,
So
compression.
careful. Yes, very smart. Nathan Smith, don't rush it. Don't rush it. Watch the heel here. So careful.
Ouh. Oh oui! 2 mains.
Nathan
Voilà.
Smith, voilà. Bien joué, Nathan Smith. The only top of Boulder number 3.
Donc, ça place toujours Ethan Hoffman en première place avec 2 tops, suivi de Victor Baudran, 2 tops. Lucas Uchida, toujours 2 tops, mais un peu plus loin derrière avec 10 essais au lieu de 8 pour Victor. Donc, Ethan, Victor, Lucas Uchida, ensuite Sean Faulkner, Nathan Smith remonte en 5e place et Oscar Baudran.
Alannah Yip here in absolute control. Almost no swing and a big smile. And then Nathan Smith, although falling behind on the first 2 boulders, this was an impressive piece of climbing. Just that left heel. So delicate.
And the only top of that.
The only
only top.
So while he'll be excited to have topped that boulder, he'll know that he's a little bit lagging behind. And for him, it's going to have to be, we're going to need misses really at this point from Ethan, Victor, and Lucas. And then Nathan and Sean with a swing at the podium. It's going to have to be them sending and the other gentleman not.
Ouais, je crois que Nathan va avoir besoin d'un flash alors que les autres vont devoir faire quelques petites erreurs. Hein?
And right now, Evangelina and Madison have they're sitting comfortably at the top of the podium. Again, it's going to have to be a flip and a flop. Alannah and Paige would need to both send the boulder, while Evangelina and Madison would both only need to get to zones, and even then it would come down to attempts. So there are still lots of podium spots to shuffle out. There is action to be climbed. Sean Faulkner is going to be up first on boulder number 4 out of the steepest part of the cave. Both the men and the women here are been given the steep, powerful boulders, squeezing, slopey.
Ouais, les ouvreurs ont gardé le dernier bloc dans la partie la plus raide du mur. On parle ici d'une partie à 50 degrés, donc on a beaucoup de pression sur les bras. Et c'est le dernier problème de la compétition. Donc, qualification, semi-finale, finale et le dernier problème des finales, probablement un des problèmes les plus physiques.
Compression, strong, burly. As you say, Frank, we are at the end of 3 rounds of climbing. Qualification, semi-final, 3 boulders leading up to a 50-degree roof and a lot of power. We are asking so much of the finalists at this point in their round. Indiana Chapman with power to give.
She looks in control.
Holds the swing. Big compression move here. It's definitely not over. The last move takes a lot of core tension. What have you got, Indiana Chapman?
Oh,
1,
oui!
2.
Wow! Remember in semifinal, she did top. She actually flashed problem number 2, which was the most physical problem. Well, she repeats here again.
Excellent climbing on a flash attempt from Indiana Chapman. And that's going to put her in, an outside chance at a podium, Indiana Chapman. There need to be mistakes from Alannah, Madison, and Evangelina Paige. We're in that situation, but give yourself every opportunity. Coming out and flashing the last boulder, that's the way you finish your round. Full respect. And always, Frank, always maximum respect to all of the finalists. I don't care if you come out to the finals and you don't touch a single zone, you earned your spot into the finals. So I would encourage you to remember, watching at home, how difficult the boulders are, how difficult the environment is. Everybody that's out here earned their way into this spot. And sometimes just a little bit of squeeze lets you down.
Yeah.
And you end up on the bottom of the table without having done a lot of things wrong. Look at the control here. That's exactly how you do this move. Sean Faulkner digging deep on Boulder 4. Still work to do, though.
Le croisé. Oh!
Yeah. Needs to be higher. Yeah, so difficult.
And you were talking about how difficult it is to get in finals. It all starts with the provincials. You got to get points to be able to participate in the national. Not everybody can participate and register at national. So it's a long journey to be here.
A lot of climbing. You lose a lot of skin. This is going to be the last try, I think, for Sean Faulkner. Just trying to get a little blood flow. Dig a little deep. Campus this move. It's worth noting the foothold.
What foothold?
Exactly. Sean still fighting. Can he hold it? Yes, this time he can hold it. One more. Oh, wow.
15 secondes.
There is so much to do here. A little undercling. And now you got a bit of a slam dunk. Sean Faulkner.
Oh,
yes!
oui!
Yes.
Avec seulement 5 secondes.
That's a great way to finish your day. A great way to finish your weekend. Sean Faulkner with a top at the wire of Boulder number 4. And that man is happy right there. The guy who's more known for his lead climbing, but showed you what he's got when it comes down to bouldering here in the Nationals final. A good look.
Look at that flexibility.
Yeah, the control here, that toe hook, super important. And that's a happy match. Indiana Chapman finishing right. And then here, just...
Il a essayé statique, hein? Il a essayé avec un talon et faire statique et non, il voyait tout de suite que ça n'a pas fonctionné. Bon réajustement, rapide, il savait que le temps coulait.
So quick, and here they are. They're going to hang out now. Once they're finished their last boulder, we don't send them into isolation. They sit, they watch. Their competitors will slowly fill up that area. And here we go, Evangelina Briggs, Ethan Hoffman. Ethan Hoffman, who has put himself in good position to be on a podium, topping the first 2 boulders. I will not be surprised to see Evangelina do this boulder. I feel that this is right in her wheelhouse, the power she's shown us over this weekend. Ethan, yes. Yeah, elle continue.
Oh.
Evangelina Briggs.
Wow!
Holds the swing.
Tellement forte.
Is she going to go with the toe hook heel? Yes.
Oh!
And she does the whole thing with the left heel.
Wow!
Evangelina Briggs flashing boulder number 4.
Well.
What does that do to the table?
Well, she's in first place.
Yeah.
Première place pour le moment.
Place.
Bon, c'est sûr, c'est la seule qui a réussi tout le 4e problème seulement. Il reste avec Indiana, de toute façon, qui avait manqué quelques tops un peu plus tôt dans la compétition. Ça la place en première place pour Briggs. Et on va voir ce que Madison Fisher est capable de répondre.
And I think even
sur les essais, elle va...
Sur les essais, Evangelina Briggs is going to be your 2021 Women's Boulder Champion. That flat, it's going to come down to attempts, and that'll be the difference. She dug deep when she needed to. Evangelina Briggs showed herself to be absolutely on form.
Oui, c'est vrai, on peut confirmer déjà.
Yeah.
On peut confirmer. Evangelina Briggs, nouvelle championne canadienne. On va la voir un peu plus tard en entrevue. So stay with us.
So impressive. And lots of climbing to be done. The podium still to be decided. The rest of the podium, Madison Fisher, Alannah Yip, Paige still fighting for that second and third place spot. But for now, a minute and a half to go. Ethan Hoffman letting the clock run down, trying to get some force, some blood back into his forearms. We see Sean Faulkner's reaction to Ethan trying this boulder.
Donc, au lieu de stabiliser sur la prise en campus, il a décidé d'y aller avec 3 mouvements de bras de suite.
And the danger there, Frank, is that you generate too much momentum in order to hold out. So there is a way. So here you just tap. There's no left foot. It's just there for the start. It's campus.
We pretty much call that a no shadow.
Yeah.
So basically, it's so steep, 50 degrees. There's no way you can put your feet on that. You just need to tap it. And basically, they're forcing a campus move.
And then even on that attempt, you see Ethan maybe powering out a little bit. Not enough pull left in the right arm. The second hold on that next volume is the saving hold here. That's the one that's going to allow you to stop the swing. So if you can do the first one in control, and then the left hand, that's the one that holds the swing. 15 seconds, is that enough time? Ethan Hoffman, elects to go double. He's okay. He's a little disappointed, I think. And that's going to be enough clock. So, he still sits at the top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, mais
Evangelina.
Qu'elle est forte.
A left heel hook. And then even that extended. Did she smile? I couldn't tell there. I think maybe. And you see these two sharing a bit of a, they're going to talk about what do I need to do for that last boulder. Ethan breathing heavy.
So Ethan's opened up the door.
He has indeed. He's still sitting at the top, but it's Victor and Lucas here with the top have an opportunity to come through. Now we've got Madison Fisher and Lucas Uchida. So a lot in it for Lucas here.
Madison aimerait bien conserver sa deuxième place. Bon, elle ne le sait pas encore, elle doit s'en douter, mais elle ne le sait pas encore. Elle doit bien performer pour conserver sa deuxième place et éviter le retour d'Alannah Yip.
Lucas kind of taking a bit of a test run, I think, at the start of the boulder. Madison Fisher looking at the options. There are decisions to be made.
Taking her time.
Yeah, being very careful. She has shown herself so far over the weekend to have enough power to do these kind of moves slow and in control.
Control that release very well. Oh, straight up.
Here's a good look at the span, the compression required. This looks good for Madison Fisher. Just turning that toe onto the hold. No! Ooh. Thought she had enough, I think, with her feet down low. How much energy? So we've seen a couple flashes. How much has that sapped?
Well, Chapman et Briggs avaient toutes les deux mis soit un talon, soit un crochet d'orteil pour aller à la dernière prise. Donc, je crois que c'est ce qui manque.
Evangelina just having a look out of the corner of her eye at the medals. that, I think she probably knows one of them is hers. And now here, Lucas, the best way is to go slow to the first one and then generate 1-2. So he's tried 2 or 3 different methods, but he's also shown himself over the course of the weekend to try a boulder, fall, adjust, adapt, and then be successful on the next try. So he has shown us that he is able to make the right adjustments. And here, un peu plus de bras droit, je pense. Just a little more pull.
Ouais, peut-être qu'il commence à être un peu fatigué. Là, c'est vraiment le dernier problème, le problème le plus physique jusqu'à maintenant sur cette ronde.
And this is so, I mean, Frank, this is critical here. Lucas Uchida, if he tops the boulder, he's on a podium spot. If he doesn't get a zone, he's out. So this is, with a minute to go, Lucas Uchida is holding his future in his control. Madison Fisher asking the crowd for support. A great look at the angle and how bad these holds are. Lucas is running out of gas and running out of time.
Madison a pris beaucoup de repos aussi. Ça va être juste quand même avec 30 secondes à faire.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Lucas sort of trying the last-ditch effort, I think. Madison Fisher fighting. Look at this. Lucas fighting. Oh, my goodness.
Il doit aller chercher la zone.
No! Madison Fisher, no!
Wow!
Oh, François.
Wow, 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 wow.
Les essais dramatiques. Lucas Uchida is going to come up shy of a podium after looking so good at the start of the round.
Ouais, c'est dommage quand même.
Yes. Here you see how close Madison Fisher got.
Avec le talon pour s'aider à s'élancer un peu, mais non, ça tient pas.
Ça a juste glissé.
Oui.
That's the difference. They're going to talk about it now. Madison Fisher wasn't going to be able to catch Evangelina, but has opened the door here for Alannah Yip. And if Alannah tops this boulder, she will leapfrog into second place. And Paige as well will put herself in a temporary podium spot, but it's going to come down to tries. So if Paige tops this boulder, it's going to become... she'll be just ahead of Madison on attempts if she can do it in 2 tries or less. So we're doing math on the fly here. Don't quote us on that. But we have Paige and Victor with their
last problem.
Yeah, last problem, and their fate is in their own hands, if you'll excuse the pun. Paige climbing carefully here, as we've seen. Lots of toe hooks, lots of heels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Attention ici.
Yes.
Ah, c'est bien, très bien contrôlé.
Good amount of tension. A great look at how steep it is in this cave. Is she going to go? She's going to go toe.
Oui.
Yes. Paige.
Oh!
Paige Boklaschuk, just not quite enough stick with the right hand. A little bit of that core tension. No doubt you're tired at this point of the round.
Ici sur les matelas. Donc là, elle va prendre un très, très long repos et je crois qu'elle va se donner un seul essai encore.
I believe that too, Frank.
C'est tellement un problème physique. Elle doit se prendre le maximum de repos. Heureusement pour elle, il lui reste encore 2 minutes 30 environ.
Les yeux fermés pour composer un peu. Refocus.
Ah, Victor aussi, hein, qui essaie d'aller faire le 3 mouvements de suite au lieu de s'arrêter sur le premier.
Yeah.
Et vraiment les ouvreurs, ils nous ont dit il faut s'arrêter sur le premier, contrôler et ensuite donner un 2 coups.
Yeah, the right thing to do is to go very slowly to the first hold. It's good enough, and then 1-2. This 1-2-3 that they're trying, in their minds, probably not the more difficult option, but it is the more difficult option. Victor Baudrin. Oh! A little better that time. And you see the smile. He thinks, yes, I'm I'm slowly unlocking the amount of momentum required. If you're a fan of competition climbing, you will be a fan of how these last boulders are playing out and the effect they're having on the podium.
Oh, attention, ça lui prend au moins la zone à Victor.
Yeah, and Paige, as hard as it is, has let the clock go a minute and a half of rest. And she is going to jump on at that 1 minute buzzer. Paige Buckles-Chuck with the ability to fight for a podium if she can get through this and stay in tension.
Ouais, si elle ne réussit pas, elle va non seulement manquer de temps, mais aussi d'énergie. Donc là, c'est vraiment la dernière chance. Elle doit donner tout ce qu'elle a. Et ça va se faire sur le dernier mouvement. Attention, beaucoup moins bien contrôlé que tout à l'heure. Ça coûtait un peu d'énergie.
Oh. Is she gonna? She looks like, yes, going back to the toe. Paige Buckles-Chuck. No, tu vois la right leg just letting go. That's not going to be enough time or enough energy. Victor Boulder not going to get to the zone. Paige Buckles-Chuck agonizingly close to a top. For the moment, she's hitting in third place. However, she's got Alannah Yip to follow. Babette Roy not able to get a podium spot out of this effort. Maybe. Babette with a top here in sort of 2 tries or less would be fighting Paige for that third spot, pending Alannah. But the way Alannah's been climbing, I don't think there's any doubt that she is looking like she'll probably top the last boulder. However, Oscar Boulder, Babette Roy for 4 minutes. We have your attention, and we are going to see what you can do.
Pour Babette Roy, les mouvements semblent pas trop loin. Et, elle est très, très forte en ce moment au niveau des épaules. Donc, c'est, je crois, un problème qu'elle devrait être capable de réussir. Maintenant, en combien d'essais? Et surtout, lui reste-t-elle assez d'énergie? Crochet de talon. Double crochet de talon.
Yes. Yes, hold the swing. Babette Roy.
Attention. Dernier mouvement. Oh oui! Avec le talon. Oui!
Yes.
C'est un flash.
And flash for Babette. It's not going to put her on a podium, but that is an excellent way to finish your finals round at Nationals. So a bit of a wry smile from her. You saw in the corner of the screen the other finalists cheering her on.
Elle est montée en 3e place, mais bon, Alannah Yip derrière. De la façon que Yip a grimpé jusqu'à maintenant, ça serait quand même assez incroyable qu'elle ne réussisse pas à faire ce problème. Mais quand même, Babette Roy qui passe du bas du classement en 3e place, donc elle va probablement finir en 4e place, ce qui est toute une performance pour Babette Roy.
I agree. It's going to take a force of nature, I think, for Alannah to not top the boulder. But for now, 1, 2, 3, Evangelina, Madison, Babette. And here we have Oscar Boulder, who's not within striking distance of a podium spot. But we climb for pride at this point. Everybody wants to top every single boulder they get their hands on.
J'ai l'impression qu'Oscar, il voit un pif-paf-pouf, comme on dit.
Exactement.
Au lieu d'être un pif-paf, il y a un mouvement de plus. Pif-paf-pouf. Donc, 3 mouvements de bras au lieu de stabiliser sur le premier mouvement et ensuite y aller avec 2 mouvements de bras. Donc, normalement, on devrait arrêter ici et puis ensuite repartir pour 2 mouvements consécutifs. Alors que là, Oscar, il essaie de faire 3 mouvements consécutifs.
But there's not enough, he's not getting enough squeeze to elevate. So you see him come through and he can't get his shoulders, he can't get his arms bent. He's not creating upward momentum at any point. He's just swinging out. So when you stop on the the left hand here, if you stop here, you take a pause, you're able to start pulling up, and then the 1-2 movement is much easier.
Oui, c'est le problème qu'il avait sur le problème numéro 2. Il ne montait pas assez haut, il n'utilisait pas assez son biceps. Il était vraiment à pleine capacité du bras, vraiment allongé. Il utilisait plutôt un balancier pour faire la progression plutôt que d'utiliser vraiment les biceps et les épaules. Et ça semble être aussi le problème sur ce bloc.
You get a look at the community aspect, respect to Babette from the other finalists. Oscar Boulder, he's going to give it a brush and probably one more try. And after having come out and sent the first boulder and then has just run into difficulty from that point on.
Oh!
So close. So close, and I think, yeah, he's out of gas for sure. And he's going to walk away, a smile from his brother. They just look beat up. Cuts and bruises everywhere. And here we go, Babette, looking very much in control. You wonder if Paige, watching this, was thinking, I just needed to push a little harder on that left toe. And then this here, just the switch, the double heels, brings her in close enough.
Fait à noter, hein, chez Alléop, le mur d'entraînement où elle s'entraîne le plus souvent, c'est très, très incliné. Hein. Les blocs sont très inclinés chez Alléop, autant dans le silo, le backfield 45 degrés, en bas et en haut, les deux blocs sont très inclinés aussi. Donc, c'est normal qu'elle réussisse à performer sur ce genre d'angle.
You get used to it, you get good at it. All right, Frank, this is going to do it. Last two climbers, last boulder. Alannah Yip, Nathan Smith. Alannah Yip here with an opportunity to get onto the podium. The gold medal is out of reach. But look, stopping to chalk up.
No problemo.
Yeah, Alannah Yip.
She looks in total control.
She does look in total control. So, yes, moving through here, no real doubt in her mind either. Alannah Yip, the only slip on boulder number 2, costing her a shot at the gold medal.
Mais force est de constater que Evangelina Briggs, elle est très, très, très constante, autant en qualification, en semi-finale et en finale. Elle fait tous les blocs. Elle fait tous les blocs.
Tous les blocs. You're right. She's done every boulder through all the rounds. And that is, I mean, that's how you win nationals.
Yeah, but she deserves it.
Yeah, 100%. Nathan Smith, just looking up there. What does he need to do? And Smith here also with his fate in his hands. This will put him, if he tops this boulder, it's going to put him in third spot. Nathan Smith, he's got the power, Frank. Can he solve it? 2 minutes to go. Nathan Smith currently sitting in 5th place with an opportunity to catapult himself onto the podium. My hands are sweating, Frank.
Là, il doit se forcer à prendre un long repos et mettre toutes ses énergies pour réussir les premiers mouvements. Et je crois que s'il réussit les premiers mouvements, il serait capable de compléter le reste.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if he can get established on the second volume hold, if he can get into that position, he'll be able to bear down and squeeze his way through the finish.
Right. If he gets the zone, I think he can finish the boulder.
Yeah. This finals round has definitely, as we predicted, every single one of these finalists were capable.
Ouais, là, moi, littéralement, je suis au bout de ma chaise. Là.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, il essaie de mettre les deux mains sur
match.
ce bloc. Ouais, il essaie de matcher la troisième prise.
1 minute to go. Brush for, get some of the chalk off, give yourself a forced rest. compose, but the clock is ticking. I guess he's going to brush it down to one try. He's going to have one try left to shake up the podium. Nathan Smith, the crowd wants him to do it.
Elbow, knees,
everything
bleeding
bloody,
everywhere.
bleeding.
Wow. What a comp.
Yep. This has been an exciting weekend. Just look at your other finalists watching. 20 seconds. Nathan Smith, what are you waiting for?
He's going for the zone or what?
What are you waiting for? Ali. Nathan Smith. Not going to do it. So that's going to be a shrug from Nathan Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. Finals. Oh, I don't know that he is the clock. Oh, there's 30 seconds. Our clock is incorrect, Frank.
Oh.
30 seconds.
Oh, that's why.
Nate Smith with one more try. Oh, and that one I think is going to be the one that takes him down to the buzzer.
Now I understand.
Now I understand.